Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Sri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Prahlad Narasimhadev Prahlad Narasimhadev Prahlad Narasimhadev Prahlad Narasimhadev. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Sri Sri Gaurita ki, Sri Sri Radhavallabha Bhagavan ki, Sri 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 Jagannath Balada Subhadramaya ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Pranande. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 13, verse number 28. So this verse is primarily focused on what happens when we forget our real identity and our real self-interest. So this was very nicely explained, so those aspects, and we will discuss those in detail. Of course, this chapter title is The Behavior of a Perfect Person. So very beautiful title also. So we will understand all these things in the context of today's verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Again, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 13, verse 28. So let us read word by word first, then full line by line in Sanskrit. Iti etat atmanah swartham santam vismrataya vai puman vichitram asakti dvete ghoram apanuti samsratim iti etat atmanah swartham iti etad atmanah swartam santam vismritaya vaipuman santam vismritaya vaipuman vichitram asatti dvete vichitram asatti dvete ghoram aponiti samsritim ghoram aponuti samsritim iti etad atmanah satam shantam vismritaya vaipuman vichitram asatti dvete ghoram apanoti samsritim iti etad atmanah swartham shantam vismritaya vaipuman vichitram asatti dvete ghoram apanoti samsritim iti etad atmanah swartham santam vismritaya vaipuman vichitram asatti dvete ghoram apanoti samsritim iti etad atmanah swartham vichitram asatti dvete ghoram apanoti samsritim iti etad atmanah swartham shantam vismritaya vaipuman vichitram asatti dvete ghoram apanoti samsritim iti etad atmanah swartham shantam vismritaya vaipuman vichitram asatti dvete ghoram apanoti samsritim iti etad atmanah swartham shantam vismritaya vaipuman vichitra asatti dvete ghoram apanoti samsritim. Word to word translation. Iti, in this way, etat, a person materially conditioned, atmanaha, of his self, swartham, own interest, santam, existing within oneself, vismritaya, forgetting, why, indeed, puman, the living entity, vichitram, attractive false varieties, asati, in the material world, dvete, other than the self, ghoram, very fearful, due to the continuous acceptance of birth and death. Apanati, one becomes entangled. Samsritim, in the material existence. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki. In this way, the conditioned living entity, conditioned soul living within the body forgets his self-interest because he identifies himself with the body. Because the body is material, his natural tendency is to be attracted by the varieties of the material world. Thus, the living entity suffers the miseries of material existence. Purport: everyone is trying to be happy because, as explained in the previous verse, Sukham asmatano rupam sarveho paratis tanuha. When the living entity in his original spiritual form, he is happy by nature. There is no question of miseries for the spiritual being. As Krishna is always happy, the living entities who are his parts and parcels are also happy by nature. But because of being put within the material world and forgetting their eternal relationship with the Krishna, they have forgotten their real nature. Because every one of us is a part of Krishna, we have very affectionate relationship with him. But because we have forgotten our identities and are considering the body to be the self, we are afflicted by all the troubles of birth, death, old age and disease. This misconception in material life continues unless and until one comes to understand his relationship with Krishna. So the happiness sought by the conditional soul is certainly only illusion, as explained in the next verse. Om Ajnana Trimindasya Jnananjala Salakaya Chaksurilmitamena Tasme Sri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapadaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamini Namaste Saraswadevi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachata Desatarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this chapter, the behavior of a perfect person, in the context, in the previous verses, as you all know, Prahlad Maharaj went on the tour or yatra of the universe. Just like sometime you go yatra of Bharat Yatra or Australian Yatra or American Yatra, European Yatra, within this planet, of course, Prahlad Maharaj is not restricted to this planet, so he can go to anywhere in the universe. Just like his father used to go, all the demons, similarly he also went. So what is the purpose of this yatra? So not to sightseeing. Often people go to sightsee, this place, that place, very attractive. Sometimes they go to different places. So here Prahlad Maharaj went on yatra with the focus of, at holy places, holy rivers, finding some enlightened persons, advanced devotees, sannyasis, learning from them, understanding their qualities and characters so that you can further advance. Of course, Prahlad Maharaj was already an advanced, dearmost devotee of Supreme Person, Nrsimhadev. Still, he has shown us the path. So even if you are advanced Uttama Bhakta, so he has shown a path that still go to holy places, one place, other place, seek out enlightened personal association, sadhu sangha, then get knowledge. So in this instance, in this chapter in particular, so he reached the bank of Kaveri river. So this Kaveri river is right now is in Karnataka state and also flows to Tamil Nadu also. But its birthplace is called Talakaveri, the place in particular. So in English that place is called as Coorg district or Kodagu district. Okay. So anybody has visited Talakaveri? I am just trying to recall myself. During our engineering days, every year we used to have a tour. I don't think we had any purpose of going to a holy place and seeking knowledge, but in the spirit of going on a tour, take college bus, the batch of our computer science people, we go into various places, and once we went to this Talakaveri. Sahyadri ranges, so it goes to Hassan and Malanad, and then finally we end up there. So Coorg district, and we went there. That is the birthplace of Kaveri, and we can see the water stream coming. Then of course, as it goes, it becomes a big river. So there's the Kaveri river. So there he found what we call, Python man. So a person, a saintly person, Avadhuta. So just lying happily. So he's not worried about having a house with all the paraphernalia of the house, all the facilities. He's not concerned anything about it. So this is where, Prahlad Maharaj, found him to be advanced person. Actually, it takes a great advanced person to see another advanced person. If someone is lying on a street, dirty cloth, not nicely hair, done. So we think that this person is a lowly, suffering from diseases and problem. But whereas Prahlad Maharaj was able to detect in him that advanced saintly nature of that person, so therefore he inquired from him. So from that, the answer that saintly person, Avadhuta gives, is one of that answer is here. So as Prabhupada says, so in the purport, Prabhupada says, as explained in the previous verse, it starts with, everyone is trying to be happy because, as explained in the previous verse, Prabhupada says, Sukham asmatano rupam sarve hopa ratis tanuha. So Prabhupada says that when the living entity, for example, when we are in the original nature, so then we are happy by nature. So that Prabhupada is emphasizing the original nature. So as we go through this verse, just line by line, iti etat atmanaha sarvatham santam vismrataha. So etat, so here it refers to a person conditioned materially. A person by nature conditioned spiritually, but when we come in contact with this modes of material nature, we are under the clutches of this Maya's rules and regulation. Sometimes you are put in mode of goodness, sometimes mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So when we are in that kind of mode of material nature, so such living entity, the conditioned living entity. So in such conditioning, we think ourselves to this body. So nothing behind. So ourselves a body. So as a result, so we forgot our real identity. So this verse is all about when we forget our real identity, our real self-interest, what happens? Then Atmanaha, that is of course of self. So as a result, you can see, so we are seeking some little happiness through this body. That is Maya Sukha. So Prahlad Maharaj himself in earlier verses, he said about Maya Sukha Bharam Udataha Vimudhan. Vimudhan, he's saying that all these fools, they don't know what is their real self-interest. And then working very, very hard for flickering happiness. Of course, many are working very hard in different ways, and we are seeking happiness in different conditions, often outside us. Most of the time, when we are unhappy, actually almost 100% of the time, it is because of external feeds. And sometimes we try to derive little happiness through external means. And then most of the time that unhappiness comes because of, also external input that we take. So instead of seeking happiness inside, we try to seek outside. They also give us feedback inside, and that makes us unhappy. So in terms of seeking happiness outside, how do we seek happiness outside? So varieties ways. Some of them try to be happy by gaining power. Correct? So especially, for example, you can gain power many ways. So if you want to gain supreme power in Australia, how do you gain? So stand for election, and if they elect you and you become a prime minister of a country, then you can exercise a lot of power. You can change rules, regulation, so can cause trouble. Of course, can make people happy also. So there are the power gives you that position. Then and power you can also gain through other ways also. So if you are in a company, you become a leader of a company or the head of the company, called CEO, Chief Executive Officer, then you can exercise power. Or even small group also you can exercise power, and just few people are working under you, exercise some kind of power. As a result, people are also facing too much of trouble as well. Then power, position, sometimes we try to be happy by attracting a lot of wealth. Correct? So you attract so much of wealth so that you are among top 10 richest people in the world. The moment you are among top 10, let's say you are top 5, still not happy because there are 4 more people are sitting above you. Somehow you can do, go up and say, reach second position, still not happy. You see the people who have achieved the second most richest person is not happy because somebody else is number 1. Somehow or the other, if this person become number 1, then also very difficult because there are lot of dangers around. There are other people are somehow trying to bring you down, or or other people somehow come up. Then if you come down from number 1 position to number 2, and more unhappy. This is the problem. Because you are already got used to the richest person in the world and so much of respect from everywhere. Then the moment you come to 2, nobody recognizes you. They at least ignore. So that is a problem. Then of course prestige. So that means we are doing so much of ugra karma. So just to be happy through acquiring outside wealth, outside position, outside recognition, and so on. Of course, these days, if you see, the young people who are digitally native, so they are trying to be happy by spending quite a bit of time, lot of time on sometimes Facebook messages. This Facebook were not there during Prabhupada's time. Otherwise, Prabhupada would have mentioned somewhere that how people are wasting their time in spending so much on Facebook or so much on some interacting with friends on WhatsApp. Actually, they can directly speak and then finish up the conversation within 5 minutes. But go on typing messages, endless. Then if you give them a food, they are not ready to eat. Rather they spend on this interaction, and this interaction is not giving any pleasure to them also. Because sometimes this interaction goes to something else, and this person says something, this person says something else. It is endless. Sometimes it may turn into accusation, then you become more unhappy. Then you don't have appetite to eat the prasad also. So this is a problem. So this is because of our desire to seek happiness more and more outside. So next, Puman, this living entity, Vichitram. Here Vichitram. So Prabhupada refers to attractive false varieties. So in this material world, that is asati in this material world, so we have so many attractions, which are actually false, but there are so many attractions. And the people with conditioned state, that is attracted by different modes of material nature, each one of them got different attractions. Sometime, so we have because of these varieties of attraction, so we seek different careers. Somebody wants to be engineer. Of course, in engineer there are so many types of engineers. Correct? Electrical engineer, software engineer, mechanical engineer, because some are very attracted to somehow controlling and creating vehicles. That is their goal of life. That is their only interest. That is their self-interest. So they spend so much of time. So engineers, that's one of the attraction, correct? So when the baby is born, growing at the age of 4 or 5, people and everybody trying to direct his thoughts and thinking and effort towards becoming that person, engineer. Of course, to become engineer, then you have to get admission into right place also, correct? Preferably prestigious university. I am sure you all know, so those of you who have spent time in India and came here, if you want to become engineer, so right from high school itself, they will push them, even primary school, they will push them so much that somehow they have to excel, and then somehow they have to get admission into some prestigious universities like IIT. And before that, you go and study in Kota. Kota is in Rajasthan. Rajasthan, when all of you go to take darshan of Govindji in Jaipur. Whereas other people, they don't even go to Govindji. Just go straight to Kota. Try to study there, excel somehow, but it frustrates. And if you see regularly in the newspaper, they report about how somebody frustrated, unable to get the top mark to get into the top IIT. As a result, from the 4th floor, 6th floor, jump and finished. That's what's happening. So this is engineer situation. Of course, you don't want to be engineer, you want to be a little more advanced, you want to create ideas, you become scientist, that mentality. So try to discover something which is already there, but discover where is what. And that also frustrates. Because you discover today, then after a few months or few years, somebody will discover that is invalidate your idea. So as a result, scientists also become very frustrated. So even you want to become a scientist, Vijnani, that's a problem. Even the philosophers, we have mentality, somebody in mode of goodness, sometimes you try to propose some philosophy, even the philosophy will also be invalidated. Somebody will come out with new philosophy. So this is other problem. Then of course people compose poems. Somebody want to become poets, eloquent poets, mesmerize, even. So these are, you can see their mentalities. If you were interested in not this, but maybe you want to become politicians. Even the politicians are frustrated. So these are all different positions we are seeking based on our mode of material nature, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So those who are in passion, so they want to be a biggest businessman, entrepreneurs. Correct? Your desire, our passion. So like this Microsoft logo, correct? Their motto. So our passion is to fulfill your desire. Correct? So mode of passion. So you can see this mode of material nature is acting on everyone. So those are, conditioned living entities. Then the question is, are all these are making happy? So more highest you achieve, the more frustration they make you. Even if you become a highest film star, that is also some people have desired. So they, give up their family, they give up their place, somehow run away and become, small film actor, then slowly may become a, highest paid actor. The problem is how long you can keep that position. And we have seen that many, the great actors also got frustrated. As a result, sometimes they take their own life also, to that extent. Because you are got used to being the highest paid, highest respected, and slowly the material world will deteriorate, their position will deteriorate. As a result, can get frustrated, especially when you are attached. And one who is attached to body and those position and prestige, more frustration. So this is what this verse, today's verse is, talking about. So as a result, they become ghoram, fearful of losing what one has. Ghoram. They say, Ghoram apanoti samsritim. In samsritim, in this samsara, in this material existence. So this one become entangled, apanoti, entangled with those position, power, due to this our more material nature, thinking. So entanglement, then the fear of losing, then one become, ghoram, fearful. Fearful of losing the position, prestige. Furthermore, fearful of death. Because if you are in position, you want to maintain this position as long as possible. So the fear of death, the old age will come. So when the old age means energy level will come down. People say, oh, maybe you are a qualified person, but you are old. The fear comes. Correct? So even the fear in the person and fear among the people around you also. Correct? Even they also become fearful. So therefore they may not even vote for you to become president again, for example. So you can see all of this we hear regularly in the newspaper and so on. So this is really a problem that facing the world. And when we read Prabhupada's purport, so Prabhupada is clearly saying that everyone is trying to be happy. In fact, today's that message, Prabhupada's daily quote, today's quote talk about, so the conditioned living entities who want to achieve real happiness, what should they do? Prabhupada said, of course, they should come to temple, which is the oasis in the desert. Yeah? So here, that's what Prabhupada says. So everyone is trying to be happy. So in original spiritual form, so he is happy by nature. And that's what previous verse indicated. So when our nature, original identity, so he used to be happy. So therefore, Prabhupada is saying that there is no question of miseries for the spiritual being. So those who are in the beyond this more material nature, transcendental nature. So those who are in transcendental nature, for them there is no question of being unhappy. Prabhupada in other place elsewhere he quotes, even if the person is deceased, sometimes we say this person engaged 24 hours in the service of Krishna, he is in disease condition, he is suffering, we are thinking. Prabhupada says no. So the person who is in a transcendental nature, even though he may be physically weak or physically handicapped or maybe having some disease, so he is experiencing Satchidananda, so nature. So because as Krishna is happy, the living entities who are part and parcel of Krishna, they should be happy. So as Krishna says, so Mama Mama says, Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. So all the living entities in this world are part and parcel of me. Krishna is saying. So therefore, we are part of Krishna, and Krishna is happy, therefore we should be happy. So, why is part of Krishna? We are all part of Krishna. Even the Bible also says, so God created this mankind in His own image. Correct? The Bible says, suppose Lord Krishna says, Mama says, Jiva Loke, Jiva Sanatana. So by nature we should be happy, Satchidananda. So who says Krishna is Satchidananda? Brahmaji says, Isvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Adir Anadir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Isvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda. So Lord Krishna has unlimited Sat Chit Ananda, eternity, full of knowledge and then full of bliss. And when we are part and parcel of such a person who is Sat Chit Anand, and when we are connected with such a person, so therefore we should also be having that nature, Ananda, Satchidananda. So, but however, in the material world, difficult as we discussed. So, due to this conditioning, so we come across all the challenges, troubles, endless. So this is the problem of this world, and this is happening because of forgetting relationship. So in a conditioned state, we identify with the body. So therefore, so we are not connected with the Krishna. So when you are not connected with the Supreme Satchidananda, so that power we are not deriving. So just like, for example, this mobile is now on. So if we disconnect, so whatever little bit that power left, it will work. then at some point it will go to sleep mode. May not be sleep mode, shut down, or won't work anymore. Correct? So therefore, connecting the power source is the way to keep ourselves powered. Similarly, connecting with the Supreme Person who is happy, as Prabhupada pointed out here, Krishna is happy. Brahma says Krishna is happy, Satchidananda. And then Krishna says, everybody is part and parcel of me. Bible says, everybody is part and parcel of God. So when we are connected, we will be happy. When we are disconnected, we are unhappy. Prabhupada gives many examples actually. He says, our limbs and parts are there. For some reason, suppose, this finger is cut off, or hand is cut off. Will it be in this, nourishing state? No. It may look like for a few minutes and all looks like it is in the good state. Then after some period it will become dried. Even if you take a twig or a branch of a tree, it looks very green, very nice. Correct? You go out and pluck one of the flower from the garden or the branch. Initially we can present it to Prabhupada, looks very fresh. The garland looks very fresh, this garland looks very fresh. Maybe 3 days ago it was even more fresh, sir. If I keep it like this sit down here and wear it and for a few more days, it will become dry, then you, correct? This is disconnected from the source. The same thing happens. Prabhupada also often gives example of this fan. It is on. When we turn up, some period it is still running due to that force still there, then it stops. Yeah, so it dries out, it stops, the energy is lost. So this is all happening due to a disconnection, not understanding what is our true relationship, simply attaching ourselves with the material, modes of material nature. As a result, detached from Supreme Lord. So they are not able to experience that happiness. So what do we do? So again, Prabhupada mentioned about the need for establishing our relationship with the original person. So as indicated here, so relationship with Krishna. And of course, when we are in relationship with Krishna, so relationship is very affectionate relationship. Not like relationship where, okay, so if you are not able to satisfy me constantly, or serve me, or fulfill my desire, so I disconnect you. Correct? So that is what is happening. So try to find happiness in relationship through marriage, for example. So often, now these days what is happening? So that is also not permanent, at least for this life. This is so temporary. And you see, everywhere it is becoming fashion. After some years they separate. That is called divorce. So this is common, becoming very common, slowly. Even in India also is becoming common, especially youngsters. So they marry after a year, 1 year, 2 years. Somehow they are dissatisfied. What was looking like so attractive in the beginning, and then later it becomes, distaste. So because of our full focus on at that time seems very attractive in a passionate mode, that can't sustain for a long period. Correct? How long you can enjoy this flickering happiness? As Prabhupada Maharaj says, this flickering happiness, Maya Sukham, is so temporary. And then to get the temporary happiness, so much of Ugra Karma has to be performed. And how long you can perform Ugra Karma? So it is very limited. How? So you perform Ugra Karma, earn a lot of money. In the beginning you might spend to be happy, and then that will deplete. Then as a result, unhappiness creeps in. Then you think, okay, this person is no more giving me happy, I will find happiness elsewhere. So whereas Prabhupada says that if you connect with Krishna, who is the supreme source of happiness, who is the source of all pleasure, so he is Sri Rama. Correct? Recently, I think Monday, January 22nd, there was a lot of celebration everywhere about establishing Prana Pratishtha of Lord Sri Rama in Ayodhya. So there, connecting with Rama, who is the source of all happiness, connected with the Supreme Lord, source of all happiness, then we can derive happiness. Otherwise, it will only frustrate. And so many examples you can go through. As I mentioned, even the scientists have a problem, the bankers have a problem. You see, the bankers who became a wealthiest, highest wealth managers, then somehow something happens, gets into trouble. Finish. From that time onwards, the trouble only. And you have seen in Australia also, last few years, if you go history, not big history, even just 10-year history, you see revolving door of prime ministers, they keep changing. Then the person who lost the position, he becomes so much frustrated after that. Because my own colleague challenged me and thrown me out of position. Throughout life it will happen. You see in the newspaper, that's what's happening. This is a problem. So whatever position, and this is bound to happen. And especially if you are attracted to the position, definitely bound to happen. Very very difficult to get out. Then, so because of this, afflicted with all the troubles, so that ghoram, not only frustration with sensual pleasure or a position, but the janma, mritu, jara, vyadhi will come. Mritu is coming. So, once in the material world, when your janma is taken, definitely mritu will come. Then jara, vyadhi, this old age and disease are also following. So, diseases are there continuous. Then the old age will first state. So, you might be the, fastest runner. Or you might be the number one in winning this, in cricket. In cricket, world cricket match. And recently the badminton matches here in Australia. So the person who achieved number position frustrates so much. Because the moment you cross maybe 30, 35, you may not be able to keep up that passion and the power just like those who are in the age group of 20, 25. And they will defeat you. Till then you won Grand Slam and world number one. Then suddenly you lose the position, then frustration starts. So higher the position, higher the frustration. Correct? And whatever little happiness is there when you win, that is very temporary, maybe few days. Then after that, so the moment you lose, throughout life, this frustration comes. So janma, mritu, jara, vyadhi. So as a result, this dukkha, continuous dukkha. So this Lord Krishna says, all the scripture says, all the great personality says. So Prabhupada said, because of this misconception of material life continues, unless until one comes to understand relationship with Krishna, understanding relationship with Krishna, the frustration will continue. So therefore, how do we understand relationship with Krishna? Understanding our real identity, who are we, what is our self-interest is very important. Self-interest. Prabhupada is talking about that one, swartham. We should be swartha. So swartha, self-interest should be there. So at least to understand who you are and what is my real identity, what is my real connection. Otherwise, not understanding the swartham, real swartha, real self-interest can be trouble. So here emphasizing more and more about developing sambandha. So usually in these teachings, so we talk about sambandha, abhideya and prayojana. So understanding who we are, understanding who the Supreme Lord. So we said Krishna is happy, Krishna is the Supreme Person, Krishna is Satchidananda, Vigraha. Understanding that we are parts and parcel of Krishna, so we are belong to Krishna. So then trying to establish this connection. So once we establish this connection, of course, connection process is there. So you can connect with Supreme Lord in many, many ways. So Prahlad Maharaj himself has given Navavida Bhakti, correct? So you can connect with Supreme Lord simply hearing about Supreme Lord glories. Or you can connect with Krishna simply hearing glories of Supreme Lord's devotees. If you keep on hearing about the activities of Prabhupada, you read Prabhupada Lilamrita continuously, automatically you connect with Krishna. Because this person is, all the time engaged with Krishna's activity. So therefore, by hearing, reading about, or experiencing, so we are connected with Krishna. Sravanam. Sravanam of either Supreme Lord, glories, or Sravanam, glories of the devotees, are actually one and same. And that will somehow slowly connect our thoughts and mind, our activities towards those. Other one, Sravanam, Kirtanam. Kirtana is also very, enlightening. Sometimes we are saying Ugra Karma. While we might also do a little Ugra Karma to, prepare ourselves to speak. Correct? So I heard only evening that instead of giving the class on Wednesday, give it on Monday. Then I had a Sayanarati to do. After that I was thinking, what do I speak? Correct? So at least we do little Ugra Krama, spend 1-2 hours, maybe do up to 12 o'clock, but that is worth. When you sleep, so if you are really deeply engrossed, then prepare yourself. When you sleep from 12 o'clock to, let us say, 6 o'clock, that is 5-6 hours, you get a very good sleep. And also in case if you get dream, you get very positive dream, thoughtful dream. Otherwise it will be very scary. Correct? So you spend all your time spending in political newspaper, some war newspaper. Then you sleep, then in dream you get those only. So there was a lot of discussion about this dreaming state also in previously. Correct? In dreaming state, most of the time we are, most of our energy is when we sleep that time. So the sound sleep is very limited. Most of the time is disturbed sleep because of the dreams, some of horror dreams. But this Ugra Krama or putting some extra effort, trying to understand the glories of this, for example, Prahlad Maharaj, how he has spent time in doing yatra of the entire universe, then where all he has went, whom did he meet, what did he ask them, and what did he hear from them. This Python man, Havaduta, is saying that, so he's starting with Prahlad, I know that you are the dearmost devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we can ask, why is he dear to Supreme Personality of Godhead? In what way he is dear? So we can inquire. Correct? So however, I will still share my understanding with you. This is what Avaduta is saying. So beautifully, then of course this clearly says that due to this conditioning, they are suffering, ghoram, fearful of those situations. Sravanam, Kirtanam. Then of course, after preparing, you come and speak. While speaking, you come across many enlightened devotees, see different situations. So you end up also, learning more about Supreme Lord. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Sparanam. You are not doing Sravanam or Kirtan that time, even if you are in the Samadhi state. At that time, your mind, thoughts can be on Leelas. You can be here, just be here. See outside wall, that wall, the above used to be white. Now the paintings are beautiful. Mother Yashoda holding Krishna. And Krishna is closed eyes and Mother is open. And you can imagine, connected with Krishna. Then you come further, then other pastimes, Leelas are there. Simply being here, if you come to temple, watch that, remember that scene. So always, Smaranam. That makes you happy. Because you are connected with Supreme Happy Person. Correct? Even if you just simply think how Mother Yashoda is holding nicely. Even if you don't remember Krishna, if you remember Mother Yashoda, still happy. Because Mother Yashoda is connected with Krishna. So, you are deriving the happiness. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. Of course, you can engage in seva also. Correct? So, happy. So, if your mind is disturbed, you come to temple. You know what to do. Instead of just sitting here and thinking, playing those unhappy situations and interaction, simply engage in physical work here. Correct? So after 9:30, the person who is supposed to sleep has not arrived. Sometimes they forget. Correct? So you can just clean, take those and do physical happiness. In the physical work especially, it's easy to forget the troubles. Correct? So like this, engaging in our activities, we can certainly derive happiness. At least we forget those miseries that we got, or the trouble that we had with somebody. So those at least we can forget during physical work. Correct? Otherwise, when idle sitting, idle mind is devil workshop. Correct? Your mind is idle, not engaged, either in spiritual activity or material activity. When it is idle, it will become a devil workshop. Just like in workshop, devil is playing all kind of. Similarly, our mind imagines so many things of the past, which may not exist. So many things of the future. The future situation, imagining as a result, create so much of suffering condition. Correct? See, as Krishna says, Mama Vamanse Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manastani Prakristani Karsit. So these conditionally related is are suffering from Manasastani Indriyani, from the mind and the Indriyas. Correct? In a condition, Indriyas, all our Karma Indriyas and Jnana Indriyas, they are giving us so much trouble. They demand so many things. And we have to work hard to satisfy them. Still they are not happy, and we are not happy because of our this conditioning and trying to derive from the outside and not from inside. We have to look inside for happiness. Happiness is inside. Whenever we become unhappy because of the external situation. But when you look inside. So this is what some people call it the inner engineering. Another term is becoming very popular actually. This course called inner engineering. Some people are conducting. Saying that, all your energy is going on outer engineering. Why don't you put some effort in inner engineering? So often it should refer to, purifying our inner existence, purifying our thoughts, purifying our words, purifying our activities and action. This is what we say, that when the person becomes, Uttamadhikari, enlightened devotee, Uttamadhikari. So such a person, obviously he is a, sannyasi. He may be a married person, but he is fully engaged in Krishna service. You can say, sannyasi. So because he engaged his thoughts, his mind, his activities, his wealth, all in the service of Krishna. And this way, connected with Krishna, then derive that real happiness. This is very, very important. Otherwise, all our effort, energy, time will simply go on doing this, doing that, things that will make happy. Correct? So this is Vichitram. Unlimited varieties of situations it creates. Then different person in different mode, condition, so they try to go behind those things. So this is the trouble we got. And then of course Prabhupada said that the happiness sought by conditioned soul is certainly only illusion. Prabhupada is saying that it is an illusion because it's temporary. And of course, you will see in the later verses lots of examples of So it is an illusion. Why it is illusion? So the later examples are given. Say for example, so deer is searching for a water in the in the desert or wherever. Suppose if there is a well covered with some grasses, then the deer may not know where the water is. As a result, it is running around here and there, everywhere searching for water. But water is there next to you, but we don't know where it is. Right? Similarly, the happiness is right inside us, and when we connect with the inside us, the real you, that is Aham Brahmasi. Understand your identity. Misconception. When we think we are body, obviously we think of satisfying body. But if you really understand what truly you are, Aham Brahmasmi, I am spirit soul. So if I am spirit soul, obviously if I connect myself with the supreme spirit soul, who is Satchidananda, then I will be happy. So that is Sambandha Abhideya through practices. Then of course it should result in benefit, prayojana. There should be some prayojana of any activity. So prayojana is when we connect with Supreme Lord, we say we develop love of Godhead. That means the connection activity that we do with so much of pleasure and so much of happiness. Correct? So if we are disconnected with Krishna, somehow we are doing some activity just like a business, that happiness is very limited. Even those who are distributing books, we hear, in December we heard so much effort in distributing books, distributing Prabhupada's spiritual books and other spiritual books. That also there is a lot of effort and effort is necessary. Correct? So if you are not fully connected with Krishna, if not develop love of Krishna, then the distribution of the book, any activity looks like a pain. Correct? if they ask you to clean a temple, we may be not able to do that temple cleaning with so much of pleasure and happiness. Correct? But when we with pleasure, okay, I am connected with Radha Vallabha, and Radha Vallabha is my life and soul. When somebody asks, you become very happy. Thank you for giving me opportunity to clean this temple. And enthusiastically you do it and you feel happy. Otherwise what happens? Why this fellow is asking me to clean the temple? Why not that person do it? Right? I am doing all the time. This will come. So this pravajana state, developing this love of Krishna, love of Supreme Lord, need to come. Just like in material also, when you really like someone, so we do with so much pleasure. Correct? If people ask you to do some work, and you like the person, you do with so much happiness. Correct? Similarly, here also, when we develop love of Krishna, the moment we develop love of Krishna, we will surely develop love of all the devotees. Even by developing love of devotees, also we develop love of Krishna. These are, reinforce each other. You develop love of Krishna, say Prabhupada. Simply reading Prabhupada's Lilamrita, just trying to understand, even at the age of 70, at that time very difficult to even walk properly, less energy, may not have much money, but at that age, with so much of determination, Prabhupada went to so many places, so much, simply hearing about this, and through that we develop appreciation of Prabhupada. And through appreciation, slowly we develop liking that person. And through the liking, we develop love for that person. And when we develop love for that person, we are ready to do what? Execute this instruction happily. In spite of, maybe trouble from others or non-cooperation from other members, correct? Even though they may not cooperate with you. But because you develop love of Krishna, for Prabhupada's sake, you might compromise. For Prabhupada's sake, you will take all the, whatever difficult necessary to execute those nicely. Correct? In the spiritually also. Developing love of a person who is connected with Krishna is also enlightening, will also help us to that sambandha knowledge, then pravajana knowledge, and the real pravajana comes. So this is illustrated so nicely by all the devotees. And Prahlad Maharaj, so this chapter is all about, this ideal person behavior or perfect person. Yes, the behavior of a perfect person. Then by learning about such perfect person and their behavior, and slowly those qualities will also come to us. And as we see, for example, you take iron and rub with the magnet, slowly that iron will acquire qualities of magnet. So therefore, by hearing about such personalities like Prahlad Maharaj, simply understanding his yatra to different places, or through that, so if he says, he went to Kaveri, then you on the bank of Kaveri, you can inquire, what is this Kaveri, where it is located, how is it like, and why it is called Kaveri, correct? It should have been called something else, Ganga should have been called, correct? Why not Ganga, why not Yamuna, why it is called Kaveri? So like this inquiring, if you go deeper, if you are very inquisitive, philosophy, correct, very poet, very inquisitive person, you want to be poet, then you can go deeper. Then from there you can compose one verse, one poem. Just like Gaurarati, our Bhaktivedanta Thakur, so beautiful, he composed that poem, then we sing every day. Correct? From there we learn that during Gaurarati, Shiva, Sukha, Narada are appearing. Then at that time while doing Gaurarati, you can think, how maybe Lord Shiva is standing there and observing this Arati. Correct? So now we don't have to just, blindly sing that. Each of the word can be in our mind. You can imagine on the Ganga river, there will be throne, golden throne is put there, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sitting on that, and then Shiva is there, and then they develop so much of love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that they're choking, they're not able to speak also. Correct? Sometimes you see somebody, you become so happy that you are not able to even speak the words, correct? Choked. You can see, imagine. So sometimes you might see Shiva is not here. Gaurarati Shiva is here. It's all in our mind. We might think that Shiva is not here. So he is also Vaishnavata Shambho. So he is the greatest devotee. A greatest Vaishnava, definitely he wants to be in a place where the Supreme Lord is glorified. Supreme Lord, puja is happening. Correct? So certainly there. And this is what Bhaktivedanta Thakur is saying. In the same way. So we can also so deeply engross and think, and then you can compose poems. And several months ago we heard a beautiful poems written by our Goparandas Prabhu. So glorifying Prabhupada, glorifying the deities, glorifying activities here. How is that appearing? So this engaging our mind. Correct? You have some talent, your thoughts, engage your mind, and slowly you can put those thoughts in the form of, maybe initially it might look crude, it's okay, no problem. But with time, think little bit, then you might pick up right Sanskrit word, correct? So you hear regularly when you are reading this word to translation, we can copy some of these words, correct? Use those words in our description, that becomes a poem, correct? And that poem, by reading, so that poem may be just only 10 lines, but every word is powerful. Similarly, this verse that we got, every word is powerful. Correct? You can simply speak about just one word for hours and hours. So powerful, each of those words. Correct? So this Vichitram is also, for example, this word, Swartham. Each of those powerful in the context of the spiritual context. When we go deeper and deeper, so they connect and make us happy. Okay, so with that, let me conclude. You can see, so the whole summary of this purport or these thoughts, you see that, so simply by understanding our real identity, and of course, our real self-interest, real identity, Aham Brahmasmi, I am spirit soul, I am part and parcel of Krishna. Correct? Krishna says so, Bible says so, correct? So therefore it must be true. So then we understand our self-interest. Self-interest, because we are part of Krishna, we connect with the Krishna. When we do that, obviously we will achieve Satchidananda. Correct? And today's that quote, Prabhupada quote clearly says, the living entities in this deserted place, Prabhupada saying that, so they can find oases in our temple. Prabhupada saying that, in our temple, those conditioned living entities, they can find their real happiness. So that means if you come to temple, what Prabhupada is saying that if you come to temple, automatically, depending upon when you come, you might hear a Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class, you might hear a Bhagavad Gita class, or you might just, end up participating in Gaura Arati, or you might end up participating in some Kirtan, correct? Or you might end up meeting one devotee who will enlighten you. If not, you can go up and have a prasada. Correct? So simply by coming here, you will somehow engage with you, those transcendental. So then that person will derive real happiness. Correct? So that is the conclusion and summary of this verse. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Question written? Please. But we can give her a mic also.
Okay, change the page.
Yes, so just like we try to derive happiness in material world through different activities, obviously in spiritual also, we have so many activities to be happy. Some are in a transcendental, along with some passion. Some are, say, very passionate about going to Harinam. I agree. So they make their life and soul Harinam, correct? So spend most of their time, energy in doing Harinam and deriving happiness, correct? So just being attached to just one activity is okay. Yes, it is okay, correct? So some trying to be, connect with Krishna. So you can connect in so many ways. That is why Prahlad Maharaj has given Navavidha Bhakti. You can do all of them. Maybe excelling all of them is very difficult. Just pick up one of them that appeals to your nature. Correct? So Vichitram, just like in material world, Vichitram, all kinds of careers, all kinds of ways to be happy. Similarly, even in spiritually also, there are innumerable ways to be happy. Some connect with Krishna and derive so much of joy doing Harinam Kirtan. For example, Prabhu, correct? So if he comes to the temple, what is his first favorite? So I don't think he derived so much that I want to go and do puja of Radha Vallabha. Correct? I want to be pujari. So I think that is not his first preference. His first preference is to kirtan. So he is kirtan, he is always enthusiastic and jumps and jumps, and because he is enthusiastic jumping, we also try to jump, imitate him. Correct? Any person who comes into the temple during this Prabhu Kirtan, so because he is singing and jumping, then even the person who is little shy, that person will try to do little bit jump, little bit, correct? So it is definitely okay. So giving attached to one of the service and trying to excel in that service and deriving happiness, definitely okay. Others, they derive happiness by making a garland for Radha Vallabha. Correct? And they are so much attached to making garland for Radha Vallabha only. You tell them, why don't you make a garland for another deity? They a little bit feel unhappy and sad. Think that my position is now overtaken by this another Mataji who came just from somewhere else. Correct? Sometime because of over-attachment, not achieving Krishna's love, correct? They will fight among themselves. They will not talk to each other, they will fight. This happens. So therefore, slowly from that activity attachment to, okay, I am ultimately doing for the happiness of Krishna. Oh, Krishna, I love Krishna. So I fully love Krishna. Then you won't mind that. Your position of making Radha Vallabha's position is taken away. Then you are now making garland for Prabhupada or some other devotee. Correct? Maybe one who is giving Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class, you might have a devotee. Oh, why not? Why should I make for garland for him? I will make garland for only. That will decrease. Then you will say, oh, these are in the context of Radha Vallabha's temple. No problem. Whichever is. Yeah. Only those who achieve that Uttama Bhakti, that kind of person doesn't mind whatever the service is. They see equally all the services. But others, they little attached to that one only, that happens. Yeah, no problem. That is a good start. So certainly attached to Harinam Harinam, do it. Or you are deriving so much of pleasure, only book distribution. Yes, please do it. That also slowly enlightens you. Certainly you are giving this transcendent knowledge to others. So let's say some other, you gave a book to somebody, among those hundreds, one of them actually read Bhagavad Gita, then he became a pure devotee, more pure than us. Because he became a pure devotee, we gave books. We are connected. We also, Krishna will bless us. Correct? It happens. Even, Prabhupada used to say, he says, my life is successful. My mission of this creating Hare Krishna movement worldwide is successful. Even if one person became pure devotee. Not only Prabhupada's guru, Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, he also says, even if one disciple become pure devotee, I consider my life successful. And also you want to make one devotee, you have to sweat tons and tons of blood. And if one person become devotee, pure devotee, because of that person we also go. Correct? We may be not purified, but because we did this and because of that one person became very pure devotee, become very dear to Krishna, so because of that we will also benefit. Yeah, so any activity, so we can derive happiness, and if you are attached to the happiness, please continue. And then as we progress in our spiritual path more and more, slowly we developed this equal vision on all activities. Pandita Samadarshaniya. Just like this transcendental person, so he becomes Samadarshani. He starts seeing everyone equally. Whether it is a dog or a dog eater or whatever condition is. Similarly, in the activities also we see equally. Correct? You see sometime Gopandas Prabhu doing so many things. Correct? Sometimes you might think, oh, cleaning that the area where they take bath and toilet and all, is we think, oh, this is so low. But I have seen sometime Gopadita Prabhu, who composes so beautiful prayers, I have seen cleaning. And he is doing so enthusiastically also on top of it. Correct? So we have to slowly comes. So initially, don't worry. If you are attached to something, hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, just do it. If you are attached to Sankirtan, please do it. So both are enlightening, they will make you happy. Slowly will come to that Pandita Samadhana state. It takes time. Don't worry. We are doing sadhana. Correct? We are not Nitya Siddhas. Correct? Not like Prahlad Maharaj who is Nitya Siddha. So we are trying to do sadhana. So through sadhana, maybe we achieve little sadhana siddha in something, but we have to come to that equal state. It takes time, no problem. Prabhupada is there. So just keep chanting, and the Prabhupada says that, in the event, if they don't let you into Vaikuntha Loka, he says, don't worry, I got a backdoor key, I can take you. Yeah. So try to be faithful in one of the activity to best your ability. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, Prabhu who makes prasada has come here. So I think he's inviting us to come for prasada. Thank you, Hare Krishna. You have a question too, huh?